Good morning, broadcasters. 360 seconds with the latest news and commentary for broadcast professionals. Pax Moore here from TKT 1957. Let's discuss the latest technological news with our respected expert, Philip Grossman. Don't forget to support and give the program a like. After 3 years of development, Photogram is pleased to announce their AI-powered Alice camera. This camera is actually extremely, innovative when it comes to the AI chip that they have by Google. It's also said to have, over trillions of calculations a second, and also referencing from millions of professional photographs all over the internet. So it's pretty much so that it can actually be a professionally AI generated image straight out of camera, also allowing it to post straight out of camera to Instagram, Facebook, and all the other platforms. What is your thoughts on this, Phil? Do you think that this could be the end of professional cameras for social media?
I don't think it's the end of cameras for social media. So I did some research on the camera. It's interesting that the concept is not necessarily new. Red Digital Cinema had come up with the concept of sort of using the phone that they had come out with their Android phone and integrating it into a more a photographic or cinematographic interfaces. So it's interesting what they're coming up with. The big questions I have is that a lot of the information is about video on their website. They don't really tell you how many megapixels. It's a micro four thirds inch sensor. The AI chips are interesting. I think the problem we're going to have is as more and more people start using these, and these are going to be used by influencers as such, at least early on. It's trained on hundreds of thousands of images or millions of images. Remember, is it going to imitate those hundreds of thousands of images, or are we going to get new content? So in general, conceptually, I like the idea. I like the concept of a modular based camera. I don't know how much it's going to rely on the iPhone or Android phone, or if it operates completely independently of those phones. So time will tell, but it's interesting that this will be sort of the first. I mean, Android and Apple phones, iPhones have all had AI in them, and Apple specifically with their latest chipsets have the AI engine. So it'll be I'll believe it when I see it when it comes to market and what its adoption is like.
So Uniguest, they just introduced a 4K addition to their low latency encoder, delivering superior encoding and streaming 4K resolution, designed for live events and communications. What do you think about this, Phil?
So I have honestly had not heard of the brand before. As I looked at over their history, they really come out of the hospitality market. So it's interesting to see the extension. In our industry, we typically refer to that as AV as opposed to professional broadcast video. I don't know if it's necessarily targeted towards the hospitality industry, but they have a name brand in that market. So I think it's great from that perspective. They call it low latency. It's 170 milliseconds. I believe it's what it said for their UHD, which is just over 5 frames, approaching 6 frames latency. So in a live event environment, that's pretty good for, hotels being able to offer this to their customers to be able to stream events in a relatively low, inexpensive way. I think it's a great product. It has some you know industry opportunities because of the positioning of Uniguest and in the market that it's in, that hospitality industry.
So, and just in the news, Frame.io has introduced a RTL, so a real-time logging, a new design, for streamlined camera to cloud workflow, excuse me. We gotta run that back. RTL allows users to communicate their observations about captured footage in real time by pressing a button. Philip, what is your thoughts on this? How does this affect the industry?
So it, Frame.io is really branching out. So initially it was sort of review and approve, and now they've become a little more portfolio like in its offerings. And this is just an additional tool to help speed up that process. So for those who aren't familiar with Frame.io and the camera to cloud, is I want to shoot and start editing immediately. And typically what happens is I shoot, it gets uploaded to the cloud, and then an individual goes in and may make comments on what's good, what's not good, and updates like that. This device or this workflow now allows that user on set to start adding those comments into that clip, referred to as metadata typically, so that as soon as it hits the cloud, the information about this was a good take, this wasn't a good take, whatever those other things that you can program into it will speed up the process, and in essence, making Frame.io more sticky to the end user and what they're able to do with the platform. So I'm excited to see things like this come alive. There are some other things I think they can be adding. And so it's good for the industry overall.
Many thanks to our expert, Phil Grossman. And don't forget to comment on the news we've discussed. Just let us know your thoughts. We'll see you next Monday. Thank you. Goodbye.